Hello guys. Today I'm going to give my opinions on every single Godzilla kaiju design. Here's the rules. Godzilla at first glance really just seems like, a generic little retrosaur creature, but really like other than like his iconic maple leaf spines that really like get stuck in your brain as soon as you see him, like, you can really see the nuclear influence on his design because those bumps are not scales, those are keloid scars. And also, in certain shots, the suit makers actually developed his head in such a way that in some shots it looks like a mushroom cloud. So, other than his easily recognizable design, I have to say that this guy, even though like he does look kind of generic in his first outings, he's pretty good. Anguirus looks weird and pretty wonky, honestly. I mean, like all of the real appeal of Anguirus came from his later appearances, where he was a definitive ally to Godzilla, and he had a much more developed design and all that stuff. So, I don't really like this suit design. The giant octopus is just a giant octopus. Not really cool. And honestly, not really memorable other than the fact that they actually used some real octopi for some shots. Honestly, I do not like the 1962 King Kong. Like, it just looks weird in some sort of indescribable way that, since it's, like, I just don't know how to say it. It just looks weird. Maybe it's the fact that the only parts of his body that are completely uncovered are his nipples. Maybe it's because how, like, just bent forward and weird and like dog like his face looks. Maybe it's like, I don't know. It's just I do not like it. The fact that they did extend the arms to make it look more gorilla like and make the suit droop down more so the legs are shorter, that's pretty cool, but other than that, I just do not like 1962 Kong. Mothra's larva looks like a turd with holes punched into it, and they never really fixed that until the legendary version. While her Mago looks pretty cute actually, and like that's what they were going for, but I do admit that I wish they would have went with the wings of the novel version because those honestly just look so much cooler. Rodan looks very villainous with his wings looking just like a cape more than a wing, and his eerie blacked out eyes. I mean, like, it's hard to make a baby of anything look terrifying, but here they are. They did it. Anyways, I have to give more props to them for not just making a retro pterosaur. They could have easily just made a stereotypical pteranodon with bat wings and, like, just a needle for a beak. But no, they went in a completely different direction, going for a more sort of like weird bird monster direction. And I like that they did that. So, I like this Rodan. And also, this version gave way to the MonsterVerse Rodan, which is not only my favorite Rodan designs, but also might actually be my favorite redesign that came out of the MonsterVerse so far. Honestly, Ghidorah is much like Godzilla. He's instantly recognizable, and he perfectly represents his origin, in this case being alien. Like, for example, not a lot of creatures on Earth are gold. Like, sure, birds and fish are, but this guy is very reptilian, and you don't really see perfectly gold reptilians out there. Also, he has hair and wings. reptiles have neither of those. Speaking of wings, his wings look extremely illogical. They look more like fans than wings, and you wouldn't really think that these give him the ability to fly, and yet they do. And finally, you got the multi-headedness and multi-tailedness that, everyone knows him for. Ebera is just a giant shrimp. Nothing to look at here. But I do not like how his claws look. My gosh. One looks like it has a chin, and the other, it's not even a claw. What is that? I'll definitely have to say that I prefer the Millennium design over this one. I mean, at least its claws actually look, like functioning claws. Honestly, the giant condor has to be my least favorite giant animal in the Godzilla universe. The giant octopus actually had a role and a role in the story for being the sort of cannon fodder for Kong to show that he's powerful. And all the other ones are basically just for background details, honestly. But this one, he just gives people with motion sickness just a lot of stomach acids on their clothes and on the floor. So I don't like him. Kamacuras, along with its enemy that I'll be covering very soon, they are probably the best looking props in the entire Showa era. And just for that, they're pretty good just for that. Honestly, I really like how Showa Manila looks way more than a Final Wars Manila because even though Final Wars looks more polished, Showa just has a cuter, more innocent feel to him because you can tell that not much budget went into the suits, and doesn't looks like maybe a 5-year-old or a little kid could have made it, and it just has way more charm than this more polished thing that at the face alone looks like it could be a sleep paralysis demon, in my opinion. I've already talked about Kumonga and Kamacuras' opinion, so let me just skip over that real quick. Honestly, Manda looks really bad without her horns and fur, and I get why they cut the horns because they interfered with the monorail, but the fur, from what I know, the fur had nothing to do with it. They could have kept that, but they just went with this stupid little snake thing. Atragon Manta looks much better, and as for Final Wars, it just looks edgy. Look what happened! Anyways, Gorosaurus is, I don't like him. He's he just looks absolutely annoyed. And once again, they could have easily just went with a generic dinosaur, and they kind of did, honestly, but the weird rounded triangle head just makes him look so much more unique, and the fact that he can he uses his tail spike to lift himself off the ground to do a signature kangaroo kick really adds a little bit of biology to his design that not many kaiju really have. So I like Gorosaurus. Baragons always looked really cute, and I really like him. There's just something about his little flappy ears and his very dog snout that just, I like him. And the Millennium design amps that up even more. So, I just like Baragon. Varen looks pretty cool. I do wonder why they had this weird, what is his snout? Like, it looks kind of like a beak when you notice, the separation. Like it's all this bumpy skin from the body, and then it just ends with much more smoother, tinfoil looking skin on the snout. And I just have to wonder, what the heck? It looks like, I think people could interpret this as a beak, but nobody's done it. I think I'm gonna do that for my upcoming Godzilla verse, actually. Oh crap! I almost forgot about my opinion. I like him. He's pretty cool. I like the spikes and the flying squirrel patagium exact especially. It looks really cool on him. Also, his GMK design looks really cool. Even though, from what I know, I can barely see a difference. Maybe those, shuriken looking facial fins. I don't know. But yeah, I like him. Gabra looks really cool, and the fact that he was created using the sort of Subaraya Productions kind of way by recycling a rejected Godzilla suit, it just makes him a lot cooler. And plus, I like the fact that he's based off of an Oni, but at the same time, the bumps imply that he's a toad, which is his origin. I don't really get that part because he has fur and horns. Toads don't have those, but they're kaiju. They're not really supposed to obey biology and stuff. Hidora looks really he looks really cool with his weird algae skin texture, his lack of any facial features off except for his eyes, which are actually based off of female genitalia. Almost any G fan knows that, but just ends to a sort of dirty in both ways look. He's sludge. He's made of sludge, so of course he's dirty, but also dirty. I've already said this before on the Toho Kingdom forums, but I'll have to say it again. I like Showa Gaigan more than Millennium. Really, the only thing I like about Millennium Gaigan more than Showa is the fact that his fins are red, which is a really cool detail, and that he gains freaking chainsaw hands. That's the perfect upgrade from his hooks. Chainsaws. Chainsaws. Sure, he has a buzzsaw on his torso, but chainsaws for hands are just way cooler, and he just screams like Ash from Evil Dead. And Ash is a really cool action hero, and just because of that, I really I like these chainsaw hands. But other than that, I like Gigan way better. Jet Jaguar has to be my favorite. He has to be my favorite, not Ultraman. Sure, I like Zone Fighter a lot too, but and also Fireman. Something about Fireman I just like, but Jet Jaguar, he has that sort of multicolored super robot feel, and I really like him, but I can't help but feel bad about for the kid who designed Red Alone, because just imagine knowing you won a contest and that your robot design might actually get featured in a Godzilla movie, and you tell your parents about it, but when you go see that Godzilla movie, you just see this random robot that looks absolutely nothing like your original robot that got you a win on the contest, and you're just saddened. I hate that, But, like, other than that, Jet Jaguar's pretty cool. I really like Megalon. Like, he's like a beetle-human hybrid with a star on his horn, drill hands, and the ability to literally spit bombs. Spit napalm bombs out of his mouth. Like, if used correctly, he could be an absolute powerhouse. Like, the only real problem I have with his design is the fact that his hands are not full drills. Like, it's really stupid how, like, he has to combine his hands to drill. Like, why not just have, like, full drills? What the heck? I really like how Showa Mechagodzilla looks. Like, he looks the most mechanical out of any Toho mechs. And, like, honestly, he was, if I remember correctly, like, he was, like, a pretty big inspiration on Windom, who is a kaiju from Ultraman that I really like. And, that's an extra on the reasons why I like him. King Caesar looks pretty cool, but I just have to say that, like, most of his appeal, at least in my opinion, comes from his abilities and origin. And finally, Titanosaurus looks, he's pretty cool, honestly. I like the sort of fire color fins, and I like how he has a lot of these bumps, these black bumps on his skin. I mean, sure, it's hard to draw, but, like, wow. So, the last minute thing is actually that I decided to have this video only cover the Showa era, so that's why Titanosaurus is the end. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I don't know when the Heisei part's gonna come up. All I know is that's just gonna be a lot shorter.